Hello everyone and welcome to another stream. Today we've got the community challenge going on. The 1978 sports car challenge. It's sort of like a post-fuel crisis sports car. So I'm gonna fire up automation right now. Thank you very much Sedan57 Chevy for 6 months of Twitch Prime subscription. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, I wanted to quickly mention we have 18 total entries for this challenge. So I decided that I will be testing these cars in BeamNG on the automation short track, I think it's called. So the first submission we have on here is the Imp Sport or Imp Bolt Sport, which was sent in by Random41. Hey Ryan, how's it going? That's an appropriate intro. Okay, so this thing has a 4-liter inline 6 with 150 horsepower. Let's see. This is a very nice torque curve, cheap components, extremely low production units, but 100 engineering time as was the limit. Okay, I'm only quickly glancing through everything because the main focus is going to be on how they drive. This thing is slammed. This thing is slammed to the ground basically. So it does stay below 12,500 and it does 15 mpg, so that's good. Hey Elise, PC, Mix, Z, and Traviq, how are you guys doing? I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. It's certainly gonna be an exciting day. You see, checking the market does not really matter to me for this challenge here, since this is purely a sports car challenge, and as we all know, even in real life, sure, you can have a car that's really good on paper, but what matters most on a sports car is the way that it drives, and so the main focus of this challenge is going to be BeamNG. Next up is the Rondini Nighthawk, which was by Mr. Rondini, of course. He has participated in many of my challenges and usually done pretty well. So here we have a 3-liter turbo inline 6. So unfortunately we have to disqualify this one because turbos aren't allowed. F's for Mr. Rondini. Oh, and also it's also too expensive, so yeah. F's in the chat for Mr. Rondini. Next up is the Devil Draken Cobalt 360. That one was sent in by Mick Z233. Oh. Another turbocharged car, I see. Yeah, unfortunately, this one's also gonna have to be disqualified. 1,510 kilograms does seem like quite a lot for a sports car, though. Other than that, it seems pretty reasonable. But yeah, heavy. And the cornering G of 0.82 is probably not gonna impress anyone for a sports car either. First impressions of the Rondini Nighthawk. Sure, let's get right in. Let's get back into it for just a second. Yeah, good engine. I like it. Very efficient too. It does do 15.9 mpg, but it is too expensive and it will have to get disqualified for using turbos. The weight distribution is maybe a little suspect though. It's gonna struggle putting down that torque. I think that I probably won't drive the turbo cars because of, you know, time reasons. Okay, but here, oh, okay, that certainly does look sporty for what it is. It's got a 6.2 liter V12, so that is, yeah, that is within production unit and engineering time value limits. Surprisingly, it only revs to 4,700 RPM. What is the car has severe issues with wheel spin. That's what I anticipated. Um, 5-speed manual. Yeah, lots of wheel spin. Okay. Medium compound tires. 0.92 G is actually not that bad. It also only weighs 1,000 kilograms. It does 15 mpg. So this is certainly going to be one of the more interesting entries that we have here. It does also stay within the cost limit, so we will export this as well. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. You commit to a V12 in this challenge, and then obviously you're gonna have to make some compromises elsewhere, and that's why it's gonna be interesting to drive this in Beam, because yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how well this is gonna put down the power. Yes, I did receive your entry in Traviq. This is the 240Z style car, which was sent in by Logoris. 119 horsepower from a 2.4 liter straight 6, with a really low weight, so the power is reasonable. Oh, okay. So we get some damaged pistons. I mean, this wasn't any of the restrictions, so you know, it's not really any of my concern here that the pistons are gonna be failing, but something that your potential customers are gonna be worrying about. I did receive the LaBelge as well. 14.7 PG. So, and also the material costs are too high. So unfortunately, yeah, also the engineering time is too high. This is, by the way, the second version, because Logoris said in the entrance in the submissions channel that oh wait, I made a mistake. Now this is the one that I want to submit. It meets all the rules. No, it doesn't, unfortunately. So F in the chat. Another car that we unfortunately have to disqualify. F, because we're not allowed to swear, you know, in these sort of social medias. If we wanna, if I wanna upload this to YouTube. So next up, the Armor Sunburst, which is by Armor Motors, I think. Yep, indeed. So this is a 3.9 liter V6, making 145.7 horsepower. This is within the constraints here. Looks like a pretty nice engine, very torquey. Not crazy powerful, but it does meet the MPG standard. Oh, it's only at $10,500. So you could easily equip this with like better tires or something. And it does look pretty cool. Looks like the cousin of Kit. Yeah, I do like it actually. So let's export this one as well. Okay. How many G? I haven't checked it. We're gonna take it on the track anyway in BeamNG and find out what's what. Next up, the Chidosha K. Well, the name is a bit too long for my taste. It's by Aisha. Did that user recently change their name on Discord? I feel like they did. Because I remember this brand name and this sort of style, but I feel like the name was different before. Anyway, this has a 2.3 liter straight six with 120 horsepower, so that's pretty reasonable. I like the general style of it and the shape, and this sort of rear window. Too much fuel. 17.8 mpg. It's perfectly fine, and also it's within the price limit. Yeah, nice engine as well. Ah, okay, seems like... I think this is going to be a reasonably good entry because it's fairly light as well, and so 120 horsepower isn't going to be that bad. It's going to be enough. Let's export this one as well. Yeah, the fuel economy is in MPG US, so in case you're seeing a higher number, it obviously means it's better. I like it actually, this one. No problem. Next up, the Marquez Forte Compacto. Let's see, who is this by? This is by Noob Enthusiasta. Also a 2.3 liter inline six, but this one only makes 105 horsepower, but it's also lighter. It's just under 900 kilograms. It is within the price margin, which I was sort of questioning when I saw fiberglass, but it's perfectly affordable. Still very good MPG, actually. Okay. 105 horsepower, very, very good torque and power curve, very flat on the top. Although, I know this is sort of nitpicky, but if you like with a sports car, you don't need the flat end power curve at the top range of the RPMs. So it's better if it like keeps climbing and the torque curve stays flat for longer on a sports car, because you do want the top end power. Styling is too modern. Yeah, it does have sort of mid-80s styling, I think, but it's fine. Like, if anyone has the right to complain about the design not looking contemporary, it's definitely not me. So, also the rims, yeah, okay, fair enough. 1.11 G. That's good. That's very good. So keep note of this one. I am around 1.07. That's also very good, actually. The rear is actually really neat. Yeah, I like it too. Next up, the wall muscle. Oh boy, another pickup truck from what it looks like. That one is by, let's see. That one is by a user named Wall on Discord, I guess. So this has a 4.7 liter V8, which with this body I'm gonna check if it meets the fuel economy numbers. It does, surprisingly. It does make 204.5 horsepower and weighs 1390 kilograms. It only has a 3-speed manual. Nailed the styling. I mean, yeah, the front looks good. The front definitely looks good. I'm not quite sure about the color and the pearlescent effects. That's not really a 1978 thing. But anyway, let's check out the engine real quick. Very nice torque curve. .07G, also very good. Nice. Also within the cost limit, okay. Good job. Is this a truck or a ute? Probably more like a ute. Ballers country. Pimp my ride feelings. Yeah. I was thinking that too. El Camino. I don't see much El Camino in this one, to be honest. Next up, the Phase Moorland, which was by Sebesek. .7 liter V6, 170 horsepower. Pretty good. 1320 kilograms. Decent weight distribution. Good power, good torque. 0.83 G. Probably because of the tires, yeah. Yeah, you could definitely have afforded better tires. But then again, better tires would mean less than 15 mpg, because you're already right on the edge, so... Yeah, okay. It might still do well. Don't know. Better tires would have killed the economy, yeah, exactly. But it knows this isn't really about the numbers in automation, because at this point automation is basically just numbers. And it's this challenge is about how they drive and also how they handle on this relatively short and tight track that we're going to be driving on. Next up, the Gemini Magnum 305. This one was sent in by... where is it? Oh, by Sedan 57 Chevy. Okay, so now it's your time to shine. It's got a 5 liter V8 with 192.5 horsepower, which is really solid. It does do 15 mpg. It's within cost limits. It's got 0.96G, which is not bad. Very good, very, very good torque curve, actually. I like it. So I think this is probably going to do very well. I like what you did on the rear window as well. The rear end in general looks very nice. The front end is cool too. I like it. Takes a while to load in all the fixtures in this preview. Looks like a Mustang to you. Mustang is a hatch. Change my mind. I feel like you've just angered 90% of our American viewers. And custom back window was a ton of fixtures, so yeah, it nearly killed my PC trying to export. I just realized I could have gone full Trabant, but then everyone else would have lost by default. My car is a bit buggy. Okay, let's see. Greener future is better cars. That was by MK Mailer. So this has, whoa, 24 mpg. This makes 24 mpg. It only costs a smidge under 10 grand. It's got a 2.7 liter Boxer 6 with 110 horsepower, but it also only weighs 951 kilograms, so the power to weight ratio is actually not that bad. Again, very nice torque curve. Okay. What I also liked about this car was this. Yeah, I did see that as well. So we will definitely export this as well and see how it drives. It's light, so on the sort of short track that we're going to be taking it on, the lightweight might actually be a big benefit. That car has a butt. Economy Subaru confirmed, okay. Didn't see your car yet, it's coming up. It's coming up soon, don't worry. We had 18 entries, so we were only here, so there's a couple more to go. Next up, the Le Belge. This was by Brisket, at least it's his Discord name. We've got a 3-liter V6 with 153 horsepower, and I like the styling, very American. It's actually not as heavy as it looks. It's only 1170 kilograms. It weighs, or it costs rather less than 10 grand, and it does 15.1 mpg. So well done there. Yeah, I like that. And very good engine as well, as far as torque and power curves go. 153 horsepower is certainly very reasonable for this challenge. And 1170 kilograms is actually pretty good. 1.05G, I think this should probably do fairly well. Long wheelbase. could be a blessing when it comes to putting down the power, could also be a bit of a curse when handling these tight chicanes that we're about to go up to. Okay. Next up, the Panama Express. This was sent in by John French, 1950. Whoa, that's a pretty big car as well. Okay, now this 5.2 liter V8, 122 horsepower doesn't sound too bad. But then you look at the weight of 1730 kilograms and you're like, okay, now this isn't gonna be very fast. Probably. I mean, it might also surprise us, but surprisingly it does manage a 15.3 mpg. It's well below the cost limit. Look at that torque curve. It's just a little bit of torque until 1800 RPM and then it just drops. The exhaust is very restrictive here. So I guess he couldn't have managed the 15 mpg target if he didn't do this. Yeah. Yeah, and cornering G, so... I mean... I guess... this is probably gonna be among the slower cars. If I had to guess. Loose interpretation of sport. Oh boy, time for my bug car. Why? Why is it a bug car? Ryan 93 Cherry. Yeah, that's by Ryan. Okay, so I guess the way you did this was with like with one of those fixtures that punches a hole in the body, right? Is that how he did it? Yeah. It's certainly that's certainly one way of making an open top convertible, but sadly the game doesn't see these things as convertibles when you do it. Anyway, 15.3 mpg, it's within cost limit, 1.07 G, very nice. And we've got 160 horsepower from a 3 liter V8. It's a very solid horsepower per liter figure, considering the, you know, the hardware we're working with. Carburetors, as it should have. It's got a CAD as well. The torque curve isn't quite as flat, but it is more sports car-like. More mid-range and top-range RPM torque. And it's light, 1000 kilograms, so this should probably be one of the quicker cars. Legit, that is the most amazing thing I've seen in automation in a long time. I thought my rear window was cool, but that's rockin'. Yeah, it's very unique. How is he removed the roof with fixtures? There are some there are some grills or stuff like that where you can change the materials so that the where the mesh would be, it just has a hole, right? And if you stretch that across a larger surface area, it's gonna make body panels disappear. Next up, the Turana Minium. No idea how to say that correctly. That's by Traviq. 3 liter straight 6, 150 horsepower. Very Ford Escort or Capri looking car, I think. $16.6 mpg, well within the cost limit. Very nice torque curve on that straight 6. I like it. So this is probably going to be fairly light as well. Yeah, 909 kilograms. And the weight distribution of 6040 might not actually be that big of a deal because it doesn't have a crazy amount of torque. So it can probably handle it. Cornering is at 1.06 G, which is nice. So I feel like this is probably going to be a fairly good contender. We got a few more cars to go, a few more cars to look at. Okay, let's see. Turbo Kutela, which was sent in by a donut snail, a name I've seen a lot in my challenges as well. This has a 5.1 liter 197 horsepower V8. We do get 15.3 mpg, and it's at 12,499, so just $1 below the cost limit. So he really made good use of that. It's actually it does drop off at 4,000 RPM quite drastically, the torque curve. But again, it's got plenty of torque and it's got a reasonable amount of power as well. The weight distribution isn't that bad either, and the car looks very... I don't want to say it, but it's with all these extra little bits and bobs like these, the hood scoop, and especially the way that these taillights are set up. This sort of looks like a 1978 car that was then riced in like the late 90s or early 2000s. I don't know, maybe that's just me who thinks that way, but you can buy this car for the cheap price of 12,499.99, yeah. The Fast and the Furious rise, yeah. That's basically what I was thinking there. Last but not least, the Elise Peasy Keika. Kaika? Anyway. Yeah, this was by Elise Peasy. So, 159 horsepower from a 2.7 liter straight 6. I do like the front end styling. I do generally like the white and black sort of contrast look you've got going on here. We're in this nice and classical as well. It does 15.4 mpg, $11,385. So good enough. 0.98 G should be fine. But this is a very, very peaky engine here. So it does not make very much torque in the low RPMs, but we're racing these cars today. So ideally we wouldn't want to spend that much time in the low RPMs anyway. You know, it's just sort of how racing goes. You generally want to be in high RPMs. And there it's actually pretty good. Alright, while I'm exporting this, I will quickly switch to the BRB screen. I will also... Oh wait, one more thing before I do this. I wanna... Can you start with the latest exported car? It's gonna be in alphabetical order in Beam, so that's the order that... Because I quickly wanted to show you guys my own car as well that I built for this challenge. I mean, it's not competing. It's just, you know, in case you were wondering how I approached this. This is a sort of small little 3-door hatchback. It's got a 4.6 liter V8 with 167 horsepower. That's what the engine looks like. It does 15.8 mpg, costs $12,000. It does 1.01 G, and it's on medium tires. This is not an American sports car. But anyway, this would be what I... This is my own car for this sort of scenario. Peugeot 105 vibes, yeah, kinda. It's a GTI thing. Anyway, now I'm gonna switch over to this screen right here, and I'm gonna also clear the cache for in BeamNG before I start the game, just so that all the lap times are gone and we can have a fair comparison. Oh yeah, I should probably have cleared the cache before starting the stream, because this is apparently taking a while. EU hatch with American V8 swap. Sort of, yeah. But yeah, okay, so if you give me just a second. Is it a Vega V8? Vega? I don't know why you're getting that from. I do have an AMD RX Vega 56 graphics card. So Vega to me always refers to some of AMD's graphics cards in my mind. That's the only thing that I've been associating that name with. So if you give me a second, I'll quickly take a drink while this is clearing the cache. Okay, so it has done the clearing cache. Now it's doing the quick integrity check and hashing files. Whatever that is. I've got an impossible challenge for you guys. What's that? Build a Ford Mustang that does not plow into the crowd. Well, if it doesn't plow into the crowd, it's not a Mustang, is it? So it's sort of like it's one of those things that one of those paradoxes that is never going to be solved, right? Okay. Right, so now that it's done, let's launch the game. And switch over to the stream. We got 30 cars in our repository. I'm gonna go to time trials, go to automation. The short racetrack circuit is what we want to drive on today. Only one lap. And it didn't clear the cache. Okay, well then. I'm gonna start with my own car, just to set a reference time. By the way, the top of the charts on this track is something that I expect none of these cars to reach. I'm the last with R. I don't know. You're probably one of the last. Yeah, now that I cleared the cache, it's loading the whole map in again, so it's gonna take a second. Sorry for that. I thought it was going to you know, remove all the lap times from the leaderboards, but it did not. I think it's done now with loading everything. Man, I wish we had ABS available in 1978. Or at least a viscous diff. Car sound is a bit silent. If you want to be the first car, and just name it A. Perfect car V8 with push rod, solid axle, and closed diff. So 128.3 is certainly not that bad. I am going to increase the game sound just a little bit. Here we go. So next up, we have the easy peasy. Yeah, or just do that with the brackets there in front of the actual car name. If you wanna be first, or you know, 1978, and then followed up by the car. Why didn't that car just try to kill you applying power while going around the corner? Because it doesn't actually oversteer that much. It's, you know, open diff life. This track is a boat killer. Yeah. It kind of is, yeah. feels a little bit more inert when turning in. A little bit less sharp. And it also rolls quite a lot. But overall, it's actually not slow. By the way, where's the hood? That body is glitched out with the hood, okay. Yeah, this does... Is this on hard long life road tires? Hey Fire Kitten, how's it going? Yeah, this does not like putting down its power. You have lags? This is an automation car, yeah, we're doing a community challenge. 129.1. So that is temporarily the end of the leaderboard, but it's also the first actual entry to the challenge that we've seen. So it's not saying anything. Next up, the Armor Sunburst. Thanks for following, Fire Kitten. Also, and thank you for hosting the stream. I appreciate it. Ah, yeah, the host came first. As it's not that optimized for controller usage. I mean, I do believe that the cars do definitely feel different with a wheel compared to how they feel with a controller, but I don't think you can use it as an excuse to be like, hey, this only works with a wheel. What is F? Well, you know, in YouTube these days you're not supposed to curse or use swear words if you want any chance at all of them not taking down your ads. So, politely we're using F rather than the full word. With a wheel, it's fucking awesome. Well, yeah, there goes my YouTube career. The rear end looks like one of the 90s blobs. It actually looks like a 300ZX in my opinion. Press F to pay respect comes from a quick time event where you have to press F to pay respect for someone who passed away. Yeah, that too. That being said, this is fairly good. 128.6. It's at least it's better than the and easy peasy. We don't have any other numbers so far. It is quicker than the first car though. Next up, if I'm not missing anything, we have the Phase Moorland. This is a friendly stream. That's important because I know, because I love to curse. And by the way, YouTube doesn't care for cursing, just no sex, and also no whatever it's no copyrighted thing, even if you're doing a parody or a sarcasm or whatever. Did you hear that about Article 13? Do you also test 400 meter times? Not in this challenge. Holy understeer. I can smell the rubber of hard long life road tires on this one. F for everyone who used hard long life road tires. Yeah, okay, this is not a track-friendly car. Yeah, it understeers mid-corner, and coming out of a corner it oversteers. Quite a lot. Funnily enough, though, I don't think we've seen the slowest car in the competition yet. I think there's going to be one more that's going to be slower than this. It's not this, though. The Gemini Magnum, that actually looked fairly good in automation. I feel like this is going to do rather well. American Drift. I'll have that honor to be for the slowest one. Yours was the Le Belge? Or which one? There was that one cove, yeah, that's exactly the one I was thinking of. It's nice to actually have steering again. Just imagine every time Tom's... Oh, sorry, I was reading chat there. I completely was gonna miss that corner. I just imagine every time Tom sees a car of me, he goes like, oh no, not a Le Belge again. $10 viewers. Do you pray before every heartbreaking? Only on cars without ABS, which is every car in this challenge. So yeah. So yeah, this drives really well. I think it's gonna set a rather impressive lap time here. 125.3. Very good. Very good. The cars up here are basically very, very fast cars that I've built. You know, I don't expect anyone to even get close to those today. So 125.391 is definitely the new benchmark now. Let's see. Don't read chat and drive, kids. I test my car in this part of the track and I am done. Rip car. Wait, sorry. Next car. The greener features better cars. Yeah, let's see. Let's see if this is actually a better car. But one last thing to say about the Gemini, it handled very well. It was very nice and predictable, and it had good grip. Did just test the performance today? Kind of, yeah, but you know, the performance is basically like the car that drives best here is gonna be the winner. Because the car that drives best is gonna perform the best here on this track. This car is, I think, also on a suboptimal tire compound, I think hard long life. Lots of wheel spin. Handled well and had a solid rear axle. You know, if this was on sports tires, I feel like this would be among the best cars here. Because it is very light. The fact that it only makes like 110 horsepower doesn't really matter that much because it's so light, and it has nice turning in, but then it quickly loses grip. Either it starts understeering or, you know, once you apply power, oversteering. Yeah, but on sports cars it wouldn't get 24 mpg. Yeah, but it would still get like 22, which is still more than anyone else in this challenge. So next up, the IMP Bolt Sport. It's dancing on its wheels. Okay. I don't know why it's always loading for so long when you just change the car you want to drive. Why doesn't it just do like a reset with R and then load in the new car when you've already been on the track that you want to drive on? I like the sound of this one. It is very agile as well. More so than I had anticipated. Very good. Let's see. Can it beat 125.3? No, it can't. 126.1 is still a very good time, though. Very nice car indeed. Next up, the Jidosha... oh, way too long of a name. Okay. Next, straight 6. Oh, very grippy. I like it. Wow, this is... As far as sports car handling goes, this is close to ideal. I don't know if it's gonna actually beat the best time because it's a little down on horsepower, but it's certainly not doing badly. On 25 on 26.3. Okay. I am going to definitely consider this though, because the way this handles and grips and gets out of a corner is just fantastic. It's really good. Next up, we have the LeBelge Albert 1. Okay, let's check this one out. You made your car a bit drifty because sport. You want more weight distribution, more to the rear because of the wheel spin. Yep, exactly. That's yeah, it definitely tuning front engine rear wheel drive cars is a bit of a science if you want to get it right, but actually pretty nice, this one. Does tend to break loose a little bit upon exiting the corner, but that sounds good. It's only a V6 though. Yeah, still a very good time. 126.1. Third fastest car? Question mark? Yeah, basically on par with the Impulse Sport. A little bit ahead of the Jidosha. Next up, the Marquez, which actually did look really good in automation as far as all the numbers are concerned. So I feel like this one might be a strong contender. The Marquez did really good in the hatchback tuning challenge as well. I remember that. I remember the name. And the thing is, this wasn't actually a huge American car either. It only weighed like 1,170 kilograms, the last car, so it's not that heavy. Okay, this is more aggressive on the turning than I was expecting. Look, this is basically flat through here. Oh man, this is fast. That is, I think that's a bug with importing the car to Beam, because in automation this was just an antenna. Yeah, I think this is gonna set a new record. 123.1. Holy cow. Yeah, that's quick. That's more than 2 seconds quicker than the second fastest car we've had so far. Really good job to really good job to, who was it again? To Noob Enthusiasta, the Discord name is. Very well done. But this was the car I thought was gonna be much slower. No offense meant. Okay. Yeah. Classic sports car suspension wobble there. Okay. I think we're gonna measure this lap time in hours rather than minutes. Okay, I think safe to say that this is probably not gonna win. 114. That's like 10 seconds behind the better cars. Actually, it's not gonna be the slowest car. We had one car that was slower still. That was the Phase Moorland. I thought for sure this was gonna be slower. But yeah, I guess not. At least it doesn't plow into the crowd. Only into that area though. Next up, the Ryan 93 Cherry Nova. A Power of Brown. Now, this car that we're about to drive is also one that I have pretty high expectations for. But we'll see whether or not it can deliver. No, it's crap. Okay. Well, expectations lowered. Flatplane V8, I hear. So you like oversteer, I heard? Oh shit, the brakes on this one don't seem that good actually. This looks sort of like a Scirocco as well, with only that it would be a convertible. Oh, not a Scirocco. What am I talking about? A Corrado. That's the one I meant. But look at that. It actually did fairly well here. 124.1. Not as bad as you thought then. second best time so far. Very good. The engine pulls hard in this one. Like it does feel pretty damn quick, this, in the context of this challenge at least. So next up, the Timberman. Yeah, let's see what this guy can do. I like it drifty, I told you. Yeah, I mean it's one thing if the understeer is actually, you know, predictable and therefore you can manage and control it, and it's another thing if it just oversteers everywhere and it's kind of out of control. The former was what your car was like. This is loud. This is not just loud, but also handles decently, but like it just gets so much wheel spin that you never know when you're actually at the rev limiter. That was unintentional, by the way, it just broke loose there. No need to remove the crowd in an area of 500 meters, because this is actually pretty predictable to drive. It's just not the fastest. Or the quietest. 129.1. Next up, the Tirana Mini M. Light and should be fairly nimble as well. What were you planning with it? It's some 70s tune, that's for sure. Can you please test the design too? Because some cars are very nice, but a bit slow. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really find any car that where I was like, where I found myself not liking the design at all. So, of course, there's always the one aspect to a sports car that it should also be good looking, because usually sports cars are expensive. So you want them to look good in order to attract customers, and this by the way feels quick. So I gotta focus here for just one lap here, because I feel like this is on its way to a really good time. Traviq won the hatchback tuning competition as well, if you don't, in case you didn't remember. Man, I think this is the tightest I've gone through that hairpin with any car, because every other car just locked up and completely went out of control when braking for that hairpin. And I felt like, okay, that's just how it's gonna be with every car, but it doesn't have to be like that. That split at under a minute. I think the second best was like 103 something. So okay, now how do you do this? Who's tuning your suspensions on your cars? If you're doing it yourself, you gotta teach me, dude. Oh my god. Holy fuck. 4 seconds quicker than the second best car. You gotta teach me how you set up your suspensions. Because I can legitimately learn something from you there. Next up, the Turbo Cutela GT T-Top. Hours of test. Yeah, I can imagine, but at the same time, holy crap. Well done. Cough, cough. I think we need to, some drag race tests between the fastest 5 or so. I mean, I don't think that car would do too poorly on a drag strip either. Like, if that's what you want to do. This also feels fairly good though, so hang on. Nah, it's already 1 second behind the last car at the first split. Never mind. Hey Fire Kitten, welcome back. This drives well, by the way. This is a good car. I like this one a lot. But the last car was just on a completely different level. Yeah, 121.2. Very, very good time. Very solid time. But the Turana Minium just completely demolished the competition. At least we're not finished yet. There's the wall muscle to go still, so gotta pay some respect to that as well, and can't underestimate it. It was also in the info box. Yeah, I mean, we can do like a drag shootout between the top 5 cars or so. Sure, no problem. We've got time. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna make it into a top 5. Whoa. Sudden oversteer. Snappy boy, this one. Surprisingly, because exiting any other corner, it did not show any signs of oversteer at all. 125.2. So what do we have? We have the Tirana, we have the Turbol, the Marquez, the Ryan 93, and actually the Wall. Could my car have a second go because of the slip at the hairpin? You see, the thing is, the slip at the hairpin was not something I would attribute to driver error in your car, because it was more of a brake balance issue. I've noticed that, but there it was more pronounced than at all the other than at the other corners. So we are going to go to the. And you know me, I would admit it if it was a driver error. I do readily admit if I made a mistake. But we are going to do the. Wait, hold on. So does someone have the list of the 5 cars that are going up here? The Marquez, the Turbo, the Tirana, Viscar, and the Ryan 93 Cherry. Okay, I think I got it. I have failed America, the land of solid rear axles. Push out V8. Just give it a second for the game to load everything. Okay. You know what, let's try that again. Is the first gear just too long, or what's happening here? Yeah, first gear is just too long. On this grippy surface, anyway. On a less grippy surface, this would get some slip off the line, probably making it launch a little bit harder. 15.7? Okay. Not bad, I think. Let's test this one next. I'm holding out for you, Ryan. Your styling alone is so innovative, it should win. Low-key trying to slip the LeBelch into the straight line. Your car is crap here? I don't think so. It's very light. It's actually only 1,000 kilograms, which is lighter than most. So should be pretty good. It's gonna be 15.7 at least. 14.9. Yep. Then we had the Turbo. Very good car. Can I make some extra points here? We'll see if you win. If you win, depending on how Traviq finishes here. If you win, Ryan, you may have a shot overall, but you were only fourth on the track. Third. Fourth, I think. Wow. Very nice acceleration there. 14.4 on the turbo. Damn. F's in the chat. Next up, the Marquez. Come on, we need some American Malays representation here. This doesn't feel quite as quick as the turbo, I think. Yeah. In fact, it's actually the slowest. 16.3. Okay. Moving on, we have the Tirana left. So, let's see how that goes. Malays, oh, we riot. Okay, I mean... It's... riot in chat. I mean, we've got time. We can test all of the cars on a drag strip if really necessary, but I feel like unless this does really poorly here, I feel like the winner is going to be this, because the way a car handles is much more important on a sports car than the way it accelerates on the quarter mile. 13, 14, 14.8. Yeah, okay. Second place out of the top 5 on the drag strip, so I think we have an overall winner. I know that some cars out of the other cars may beat it, but we said that the top 5 cars are going to be tested on the drag strip, and out of those, this came second. So overall, this is clearly going to be the winner. Let's just run the other cars for fun as well. So, I mean, I guess I may as well also run my own car here. One, the Tirana. 2 is going to be the Turbo, and 3 is going to be Ryan's car, the Cherry. $15.4. Okay, pretty bad actually. What else do we have? We have the Armor Sunburst. You still have that tuner car lying around there. I feel like if style was the only thing that counted here, then we would basically say, and if we were to apply that to real life as well, then you would have to suggest, in all seriousness, that the Alfa Romeo 8C would be the best sports car, but Yeah. Yeah, it isn't. So yeah, for a sports car, it takes more than just style. It needs to drive well and it needs to perform well. Okay, this gearing is way too long for this engine. 16.4. Very close to the armor, actually. Surprised that the armor was actually slowest. Now we get into the good stuff. Also got a snout like an anteater, or that SLR McLaren thing. The funny thing is, the V8 that's in the Alfa Romeo 8C is actually just a Ferrari 458 engine where they replaced a Ferrari 430 engine where they went with a crossplane crankshaft rather than a flat plane. Other than that, it's like mechanically identical, just retuned. (14) 15.3. Actually slower than I thought. Let's check out the eco car, which actually did fairly well on the track. This stream is going to piss off the Americans. Mustang Banter and the Europeans. Alfa Romeo doing good. Who was bashing on Mustang? I mean, the joke that you know, about Mustangs crashing into the crowds, that's widely adopted. Like, Americans know of that running gag, and I don't think anyone truly feels offended by it, except those who actually own a Mustang. 16.2. So the most economical car in the field isn't actually the slowest. Pretty good result there, I think. The Imp Bolt Sport. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Americans were the ones who made that meme. So, yeah. You Europeans are too busy going sideways in your cars on purpose. Again, the gearing is too long for this engine on the drag strip. Next challenge, a design challenge. As much as I would like to do one, the fact that the judge is me means that the results are going to be subjective, no matter what. And I like challenges where there's a way of determining which is best, right? Whereas with styling, sure, I can determine what I think looks best, but some of you may think differently, right? So that's just the thing. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I don't think that would be a very very well designed challenge, if you will. Finally, a car that doesn't have way too long of a gearing, but this one just doesn't seem to have the power. Custom off-roader challenge with styling chosen by a straw poll. Okay, I mean, we could do that as well. Next time, have the AI drive the cars. I mean, the thing is, the AI is never trying to set fast lap times. Need for Speed Underground 2 SUV Rise Challenge. I mean, I kinda... As much as I hate the idea of actually performing that in automation and Beam, I do have very fond memories of Need for Speed Underground 2. Okay, the gearing here is too long. We actually did have a sort of JDM tuning challenge, if any of you guys remember that. Was a few months ago. Do we even bother with this one? Yeah, let's drive it. May as well. Yes, slow. Yeah, it's a 5-minute build challenge. Well, how am I gonna determine whether or not you actually only took 5 minutes? You tell us everything in the stream. I don't know if I'm not familiar with how that would go. So basically, would it be like, hey, you make a car that meets these guidelines, and you have 5 minutes starting now, and then 5 minutes later, I'm like, okay, now you send in. Was that how you would do that? I don't know. Okay, I'm actually gonna lower the sound a little bit. This thing's actually fairly quick in a straight line. Surprisingly quick. Second place for the pickup truck, and we've already had the wall and everything else that came after this. Yeah, we've done this, this, and this already, because they were all in the top 3, so... Okay. Second place for this one, yeah? Third place overall for the Turana. Yeah, so the Turana wins overall. Second place is the Tourball Cutela. And then third place overall is going to be the Cherry Nova. Very good result overall. Very nice performance. Okay, but To sum it up, I think the Kika is probably at the bottom. No, not necessarily. Actually, did I even drive that on the drag strip? I may have missed it. I may have missed... Yeah, I think I missed the Kika on the... on the... At the bottom is probably the Phase Moorland, the Phase Moorland. Let's do this kind of generator. Tell us all the parts to use. Okay, by far not the slowest here. But anyway, first place is gonna go to the Turana. Well done yet again to Traviq. Second place goes to this one, the Turbol Kutela. This one is by, let's see, by Donut Snail. Very good job as well. And then third place will go to the Cherry Nova. So very well done, Ryan. And this is going to be it. I think that I'm gonna end the stream for today. In case any of you guys like Car Mechanic Simulator 2018, I'm gonna be streaming that tomorrow. And hope to see you guys there as well. Apart from that, there will be more community challenges in the future. And I guess I hope I can find the time to make the video this weekend so that I can announce it for you guys to submit the car until next Friday. And this time I actually do mean next Friday. If I do manage to put the video up this weekend, because I kind of made a mistake with announcing the deadline for this community challenge. But F in the chat for me messing that up. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you around next time. Bye bye.